Rich and Bella Crafts. Rachel here. I hope you're all well. So for today's video, I'm going to be continuing with the 31 Days of Gratitude prompts. And my prompt today, can you believe it, we're on number 27. Yeah, it's definitely the 27th. And my prompt today is adventure. So I kind of initially thought when I picked up this prompt at the start of the challenge, oh, I've got lots of different things I'll be able to talk about, or perhaps photographs I can put in a journal. You know, that'll be easy to cover. So anyway, last night I had a bit of a, I had a bit of a crazy moment last night. I was rather late, and it had gone obviously past the strike of midnight. And I suddenly thought, oh, flip, I haven't checked. What day am I doing? Because I kind of, you know, the days are just flowing into one at the moment. And I went on and checked the sheet and could see I was down for the 27th. And I looked at the clock and the calendar on my computer and then suddenly realised, oh my gosh, it's the 27th. I should have done the video today and I forgot. And then I realised it was actually 25 past 1 and the day hadn't actually happened yet. So I was okay, I'm still in time. So then I thought, I know what I'm gonna do, because I'd already had a plan for the video today. So I'm not gonna talk to you about an adventure, I'm gonna take you on an adventure. So, let me just move this out of the way a second. Now hold on tight a minute, because I'm just gonna pan out a second. There we go. You thought I was going to swing you all around the room then, didn't you? Okay, so I've actually brought you to a different location. How exciting is that? Well, actually, we've gone from the dining room into my kitchen. So this is my kitchen work surface. I have put my pink mat down just so that you don't feel a little lost and adrift, so you know that you're still here. And also because my kitchen work surface is really not a very bright colour. So what are we going to do today? Well, I have been busting to try something new all week. Well, actually for a couple of weeks now, and Mum had some stuff up there that we were going to have a go with, and I've just not been able to get to Mum's because obviously Dan had COVID and we've been stuck in, and obviously I've been trying to keep a distance from the parents and all that kind of stuff. So yesterday I had guts, so I thought, this is ridiculous, I need to find another way to do this. I wasn't going to go buy the stuff, and then I found a brilliant video on YouTube by a lady called Sam Colcott UK, and her channel is called Sam Colcott UK Mixed Up Craft. So I'm going to put the link to her video in the description box below. If I forget, please somebody remind me. But she has this brilliant recipe for making your own texture paste. So what is texture paste, some of you may say? Well, I'm sure we've all seen the fantastic designs that some of our ladies are doing, and some of the pictures that you'll come across on Pinterest, where you'll see this beautiful, beautiful old card, or and they've kind of layered something across the top of it. And I was really confused, and I was looking at it a couple of weeks ago, and I said to Mum, you know, what are they using on that? I really want to have a go at that. And she said, oh, it's this texture paste. I was like, right, so what's that? Where do I get it from? I mean, you guys know I'm all kind of new to the kind of mixed media world. Paper, yeah, really comfortable with that, but anything else, I'm still learning lots. And there's just always new things to learn, isn't there? So anyway, found this recipe, make your own texture paste. And the brilliant thing about it is, you can do it in any colour you want. As long as you've got the colour acrylic paint, you can do it in any colour you want. So I'm giving you guys the recipe for this today, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Well, I'm going to make it with you, and we'll see if it works out all right. If it doesn't, we'll try something different. Oh, you'll probably never watch the video anyway, but if it doesn't work, you won't see this. But obviously, if you're seeing this now, yay, it'll have worked out. So I had to take my other son yesterday to have his second vaccination. We nipped down. Dan's now out of quarantine, thankfully, so we're all free to leave the house again. And we went down to one of the cheapy shops that's down by where they go to have the vaccinations done. And I said, right, everybody just wait a second, I need to run in and find some ingredients. So I took them shopping, and we found, and this is what you're going to need. Obviously, I'm not just giving you my shopping list here. You're going to need some PVA glue, or craft glue, as Sam describes it in her video. To me, basically, craft glue, PVA glue, is just the white stuff, okay? So I just went and got a tub of multi-purpose PVA glue. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive. The next ingredient you're going to need is some baby powder. A couple of the different, because I went and had a look, obviously, at different videos and read a few of the comments. A lot of them are on about getting stuff that's non-scented. It actually took us 3 shops to find non-scented baby powder. Who knew? My goodness, they didn't have scented baby powder when my kids were little, but so I'm not quite sure what the relevance of that is. Maybe if you don't want your acrylic paste to smell nice, I don't know. But hey, it might be better than the smell of paint, who knows? So anyway, I've gone and gotten the plain stuff, and it's just baby powder. So you're going to need some of that. Then the most important ingredient, now if you want to do the really like groovy white stuff that they all do, and you can do it on pink card, or especially if you're doing like shabby chic style, or you're doing vintage journals, this stuff is ideal for that. Then you're going to want some white acrylic paint. Now if you're not doing that kind of style, or like me, you want to do something slightly different, then go grab some colours. So like I say, we went into the cheapie shop and I managed to get 3 of these for £5. You can't go wrong. So I've got some nice baby pink there, because I'm going to use some of that after for my shabby chic journal. I've got some beautiful sky blue, because who doesn't want some blue paste? And then I've got some lovely yellow ochre. Now I'm going to be working with the yellow with you guys today. So this is how we do it. Let's get a bowl. Okay. Fingers crossed now this works. Oh, and you need a stirrer. The stirrer is very important. And Sam did recommend using your bone folder, because obviously it's easy to clean off. I was actually in the stationery shop, and I just picked up a pack of these. They were £1, so I got some spares. And in there then obviously is the spreader for you to, I don't know whether that's going to be big enough. Thanks my Leatherhearth painter and decorator, so I think I'll be in his tool bag after for one of his big, but we won't tell him. I'll just clean it and put it back. Yeah. Okay, so let's make a start. We're gonna need to put in a tablespoon. So this is my rather fancy cup of tablespoon. My measuring cup for a tablespoon. Isn't it pretty? Now I don't have any measuring things, so I was running around the house looking for stuff, and then remembered Mum had given me these little cups. So 1 tablespoon of acrylic paint going in. Oh, here we go. My goodness, it's like being in cookery at school. Before you all ask, no, I don't bake. Baking is not my thing. The countertop that you see here in front of you is literally the only counter space in my kitchen. My kitchen is like an alley. It's not even big enough to be called a galley kitchen. It's not long enough to be called a galley. It's an alley. It's tiny. So by the time you've got the cooker, the toaster, the microwave and the kettle, there's literally just this square. So I'm not big into baking anymore now. Not at the moment anyway. Okay, so that is our acrylic paint. So the next thing we're going to put in now there are lots of different recipes for this on look, I've left the stopper in. Take the stopper out your glue. There's lots of different recipes for this paste on YouTube, but I've come across this one, and I've watched the video. I've watched why Sam makes hers the way that she does, because the consistencies vary from 1 tablespoon of PVA glue right up to 2.5 tablespoons. Now, Sam says she uses 2.5 tablespoons of PVA glue, which is what we're going to try now, because she likes the consistency that it gives her, because it makes the paste quite dry. She said it doesn't crack, she said it's not dusty, and it dries really quickly. So I'm thinking, well, okay. She's obviously tried it loads. She had lots of tubs made up in different colours as well. So I thought, well, let's just give it a try. So there we go. And I suppose probably the fact that the chances are we're using the same ingredients. So, I thought also maybe from a consistency perspective, that might be advisable. So that's number 1 tablespoon. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to wash my little cup. Okay, so the last thing that we need to put in now is 1 cup. I've got a cup, 1/4 of a cup of baby powder. So this is my cup, as opposed to a mug. This is what I would take to be a cup, and I have filled that with 1/4 of baby powder. So I'm just going to grab a spoon. Okay, let's give this a go. I love doing mixed media stuff with art, because it reminds me of being a kid and being in the garden, and I was definitely one of those children that used to go and take the petals off. Well, I didn't take the petals off Mum's roses. I wouldn't put it quite that. Would pick up the fallen petals, we'll say, and I would go and get stuff and put it in a bowl and mix it with water and try and make my own perfume. But yeah, I always loved doing stuff like that when I was younger. So we just don't get the chance to do things like this, do we, when we're the responsible adult in the house? So it's fun. The only other time we're in here doing this is when we're cooking, and I've already told you I don't like doing that. I don't bake. Right, okay, so I've just stirred that in, guys, and let's have a look at my consistency. Well, okay, so as we're stirring all of this in now, you can see that the colour is coming through now from the acrylic, which looks fantastic. It's thickening up quite nicely there now. Okay, so just to go over again the ingredients for this mixture. 1 tablespoon, so that's this size little cup, or a tablespoon size measure of PVA glue or a similar glue. Now if you're using craft glue, not PVA glue, you may need more, so you're going to have to amend your recipe to fit that. 1/4 cup of baby powder, and then 1/2 tablespoon of colour of your choice acrylic paint. I really don't think you need any more than that, because you're just going to be wasting paint, because there seems to be a lot of paint here in my mixture. So this has kind of given me now a bit of a whipped cream consistency. It's possibly a little bit thinner than Sam's was, but all that's just going to mean is it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So again, the texture that you're working with, that's obviously down to your personal choice. So let's try it and let's see if it works. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just hope I don't make a massive mess. So I've stuck some stencils down. Here's one I prepared earlier. Shall I just bring you guys back in a minute? Okay, there we go. So that might be a little bit easier for you to see exactly what I'm doing. And I've got a jar open ready by the side of me, so I can decant what I don't need into there. Oh, I think this is going to be quite messy, but that's fine. Okay, right, are we ready for this now? So I'm going to just literally start by, oh no, actually that's spreading really nice. Oh yeah, no, I like that consistency. Okay, yeah, so that's it. So at first it was a little bit too runny, and I added more talc. So that's why I've halved the recipe for you on the sheet. There we go. Now I've secured down the stencil with some washi tape. As you can tell, it's obviously a colour I don't particularly use very often or at all. But I would do it with some either some washi tape that you're not going to use, or some microporous tape, just to keep it in place, because you don't really want things moving around. So yeah, let's just get this spread on here, because you're only going to need a very, very thin layer of it. You're not going to need to use much of this at all. My gosh, the paste I've got in here will last me and Mum probably for months and months to come. So just spread that into place. Now I can see the benefits of having the paste a little thicker, because as Sam talks about in her tutorial, you know, there are different things that you can do then to the texture paste to add further texture. So for example, you could use a cocktail stick or a cotton bud to just swish over it if you don't want it to be really smooth. You know, different things like that really. And you can go over it with a brush, a fine brush. And of course, the thicker it is, the less chance you're going to have of it seeping underneath your stencil. So I'm just hoping now that this all goes to plan. Just make sure I've got plenty on there. Okay, now what she did say was to dry, it can take approximately 10 minutes to dry. I'm guessing as my consistency is a little runnier than hers, it's going to take a little bit longer. But obviously if you've got a heat gun, a matter of minutes. Now my heat gun hasn't arrived yet, so we're going to have to wait for it to air dry today, guys, I'm afraid. But while this one's drying, we'll go on with another one. But the most important thing about it before you put your heat gun on there is to take off your stencil. Because if you don't take off the stencil and you put the heat gun on, you're going to literally risk melting the stencil. So, gosh, that feels really heavy. I'm afraid now to lift it, but I'm going to have to, aren't I? Right, so let's just take a little look and see. Making a mess. Ooh. Ooh. hey, that's not bad, you know, for our first attempt. Oh, I really like that. I didn't put too much on there. Okay, definitely a bit runny, but I really like that. Right, okay, let's try again. Okay, now we're back for round 2. So as you saw in the first demonstration there, I had put the paste together, used it on the stencil, but there was there was a little bit of seepage. It wasn't quite a lot of seepage because I did go over it a couple of times, but there was a bit of seepage there, and my mixture was clearly too runny. Maybe, I don't know, perhaps because of the detail on the stencil, I'm not quite sure. So I thought, right, okay, well, let's go back at it. So all I've simply done is added more talcum powder. Oh look, I'm getting yellow ochre on everything now. Good job I'm not using this on a baby. I've added more talcum powder to my mixture, and it is now, as you can see, a lot more pasty than gluey. So we're not working now with such a gluey kind of residue. Now, a little tip that I did read in one of the comments on one of the videos that I watched, because obviously it's always important to read comments, which is why I like you girls to comment on my videos, because we don't always get everything right, and it's not one size fits all. So sometimes we'll come up with a suggestion, but perhaps my materials are slightly different to your materials, and if somebody else has got different materials, they may have a better idea. So one lady said on there that when the stuff dries, it can sometimes crack, and to prevent that happening, you can add a few drops of glycerin. Now, my sons and I trudged all around town yesterday looking for this stuff, and we actually found it in the supermarket, and it was next to the food colouring. Most of you will probably know that because you bake. I, however, as I said, don't, and I wasn't quite sure where to find it. So yeah, glycerin. So you might want to add a few little drops to that if you want your paste to be, you know, flexible, shall we say. So, oh, goodness, when are you going to need to worry about that? Maybe if you're using the paste on a design and you want to bend the card or shape it, or you know, that kind of thing, then probably that's what I think the lady meant when she said about it giving it a little bit more flexibility, and that, you know, it wouldn't crack. So yeah, I'm happier now with the texture of this. So I'm going to get another stencil on a piece of card and I'm going to try it again. Okay, so I've got my 2 stencils that I want to use. I'm going to do this lovely little border design here, because I'm going to use it as a tuck spot on the end of my page in my journal. And I'm going to use this lovely leafy ivy design here, because I was a bit short on leaves with my stencils, so I thought actually these are quite cute. And I'm going to try and pick out these leaves here so I can cut those out, but we'll see. So let's just have a little look and we'll see how this goes this time. Right, so it's probably a bit too much on there, but I'm kind of wanting to try and only have to go over it once. Oh no, that feels much better there. Yeah, so Sammy's right, you know, the drier really probably better, because it's just more malleable, whereas I was finding my first mix a little runny and it was making a mess. Just gonna make sure we get plenty on here now to get into these, go into the stencil, because this consistency is just so much better. And then we're just going to smooth up and take off the excess there. Now I think the answer to this is obviously not to over smooth. Should only be taking it back off, but there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. So, moment of truth now when we take it away. This is the nerve-wracking bit. Okay, right, bear with. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that there. How amazing is that? I am so pleased with that. Obviously I'm going to be cutting these sections out. I will cut around those leaves. They look good too, but I love this. This is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, thicker the consistency, the better. When you're making your mix, if it's still runny, add a little bit more talcum powder. It is not an exact science. It's definitely going to be very much of kind of suck it and see how you get on. I did kind of cheat because I didn't have a dryer here, so I did pop one that we did earlier on into my oven on a low heat, and look, how amazing is that? I mean, I know we botched up, it was a royal we then, I botched up a bit on these bits, but it's not awful, you know. I could do something with that, I could add some glitter to that, I could do something with that, or even if I want to use this as just, you know, cut out certain bits of it and use it as backing for something else, you know, that'll be great. But I don't know if you can see that off the surface there. I don't know, it's so hard to show you. I'm fairly certain, but the weight is what is taking me back. It's how heavy it is. You know it's there, but yeah, that's really like, and there's no cracking on there. So that was the wetter mix. So yeah, really pleased with that. Okay, so I just took a short break to wash all my utensils, wipe the counters down. I've now decanted what I've made, which, as you can see, we ended up with quite a lot. But that's fine. I know I will use that now over the coming months. Obviously, we've got Christmas to come next month. I'm going to add some glitter to that and do some things with that, and obviously give them up some to Mum. But that'll stay nice and fresh now in my jar. And in the time that I was doing the dishes, this is now dried. So as you can see, and I'm looking at it really, really close. I know I haven't got my reading glasses on, but even so, I don't think there are any cracks in it. It's dried really nice. It's not powdery, it's not flaking, it's not running. That is, yeah, I'm really pleased with that. That is lush. Look at that. Wow, we've made our own texture paste there, guys. So there we go. When I said to you at the end of the video, I was taking you on an adventure today. We've truly been on an adventure. Warts and all. This is a real how it does and doesn't work kind of video, but now you can see these are the two effects. So if you want to go with more of a runny kind of mixture, for whatever reason that you may want to do that, go with the first recipe that I showed you, you know. The only thing I will say is, if you're not going to use an awful lot of it, taper everything down. My goodness, I know I've given you like quantities there, but I want to make some pink up later. I will literally be using teaspoons, and then I will just put in my powder to mix to texture. So, you know, you don't have to be making large quantities. Obviously, if you're just going to do it with white and you want to use a lot of white, then yeah, that's quite handy to probably have that there. But for using colours of paint, you know, that's an awful lot of paint otherwise to be plonking into something that, you know, you may even forget about or what have you. So yeah, just perhaps try and do it in smaller quantities when you're first trying it out. And like I say, if it's not thick enough, just add more baby powder. But I'm really pleased with that. I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on my journey. And if you did, leave a like, leave me a comment, tell me what you think I could have done better. And I'll be back with you very soon. Take care now. Bye.